Okay, so here we are. Great chance for everybody learning Daf Yomi, just to practice where things were on the Daf we learned over the course of the week. We went from Daf Yud Zayin to Daf Chav Gimel. So we'll play the name of that Daf. I'll say the Sugya, and we'll use the Simanim, for those using Simanim, to help find the material and practice. Because the more we practice for Simanim, the more pleasure we get of seeing our success, and it builds momentum as we move through Shabbos. So here goes. Okay, what Daf do we have the Sugya where we're trying to identify who holds that pouring water into the dye itself as a form of a gibel, a form of kneading? Where was that? Okay, so we have that picture in our mind's eye of the Chassan Kala with that bowl of dye right under by her dress, that black dye. So that's Daf Yud Ches, right? A chuppah is Daf Yud Ches, Shemona Esrei chuppah. Okay, good. Where do we have the sugya of where we learn why the wicks and fuels were not good? What was the reason for that? And we learned it's because they're sputtering. Where was that? Okay, so we have a picture in our mind's eye of that cow with the attached with a lot of wicks that are just sputtering out. So cow is Chaf Aleph, so Daf Chaf Aleph, very good. Okay, where do we have the sugya of sending out a mailman or Erev Shabbos? At what point, how far does he have to go? Where does he have to get to Erev Shabbos? Also with the launderer, the same, it was on the same Daf. Where was that? That was, remembering we have picturing the mailman on the boat, on the yacht, which is Yud Tes, right? The laundry was hanging over the side of the yacht. Good. All right, where do we have the sugya of where we learn that women have the mitzvah Hadlaka by Ner Chanukah because they were also involved in the nays? Where was that? That was on, right? We picture the women pouring all this oil into the keg. Chav Gimel is a keg, so it was on Daf Chav Gimel, today's Daf. Very good. Okay, where do we have the sugya of at what point does the sugya where we are defining cooking meat, the concern about cooking, throwing things in, whether it's raw or whether it's partially cooked or it's kid meat or ram meat, mature ram meat, in terms of the issue of Shemi Yechata, where do we have that? That was on Daf, right? You picture that pot where the caterer for the chuppah was throwing in with all his staff meat into the pot. That was behind the chuppah, so that's on Daf Yud Ches. Great. Okay, where do we learn out the din of Machal ben Drosai, that things have to be cooked to the point of Machal ben Drosai, the bandit, so that you won't come to Shem Yechata? That was on Daf, right? You imagine the bandit, and he's got his long spoon cooking the carbon pesach, the spoon is chaf, right? So it was on Daf chaf. Excellent. Okay, where do we have the where do we learn out the Chazal that Bor Reik Ein Bo Mayim? There was no mayim, but there was no chashim kravim. Where was that? Right, so we picture a taxi cab, jumping out of a pit. So chabes, very good, excellent. Where do we have the topic of the question of whether metaltalin, which is the width of an ox goad, which is 1/3 of a tefach, will transmit tumor or not, in terms of OL. That was on Daf, right? We imagine the farmers, Jewish farmers, nice old Jewish farmers carrying, ox goads over their shoulder. That was on Jewish farmers. That's Yud Zayin, Yiddish Zayins. Jewish guys holding sickles like a Zayin. Great. Okay, two more. Where do we have the sugya of putting the beam? The question of whether a beam that was pressed on the grapes and the olives, whether the juice that flows is mutter if it continues to on Shabbos to use. Where was that? Also by honeycombs. Right, that was, we picture that big yacht, which is Yud Tes, over a sea of oil, wine, and honeycombs floating around. Okay, one more. Where do we have the topic of, which Daf had the topic of multiple wicks from a lamp that could be used? Many people could do it. And we also learned that someone who's ragil in Neros is going to be zocheh to having children who are Talmidei Chachamim. Where was that? That was on today's Daf, right? We had that, the keg, the women were pouring their oil in. Their children were gathered around to make the brachas for the Neros, and their young, up-and-coming Talmidei Chachamim. Very good. Great. Okay, that's our review. And I'm going to try to make one other quick video, which is going to be the jumbo quiz for every start in Shabbos. We'll go from Daf Beis to Daf Chav Gimel, and I'll throw out topics from over, and we'll use some money and practice there. Great job.